take it into consideration, especially today. Like the first agreement about strategic offensive weapons was initially signed by the Soviet Union and the United States in a different situation when we were strengthening mutual trust and escalating the situation. In the future, our relations reached such a level where Russia and the United States claim they don't consider each other a foe, an enemy. Great, that was good. And the current agreement from 2010 contains important aspects about the indivisibility of security, about the direct connection between strategic offensive and defensive weapons. All of this is long forgotten. The United States withdrew from the agreement. It's now a thing of the past. Our relations, which is important, have degraded, have decreased, and it's something of the United States doing. It is them, after the collapse of the Soviet Union, started reconsidering the outcomes of the World War II, building the world American way, where there is only one master, one Lord. And they started flagrantly destroying all the foundations of the world order to cancel out the legacy of Yalta and Potsdam. Step by step, they started changing the world order, dismantling the system of security and arms control. They have planned and implemented a number of wars across the world with the only goal in mind to destroy the international relations architecture that was created after World War II. It's not just a matter of speaking, that's how it's happening in practice. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, they want to become a dominating force forever, without taking into consideration the interests of the modern Russia and the interests of other countries for that matter as well. Yes, the situation after 1945 has changed. There are new, quickly growing centers of development and of influence. It is only natural, it's an objective process that cannot be ignored. But what is impossible is that the United States started changing the world order just only to suit themselves, only in their own selfish interests. And now, via NATO representatives, they are sending signals, basically, they are sending ultimatums that you, Russia, should adhere to everything we have agreed upon, including the START treaty without any misgivings. And we will do whatever we want. There is no link between the issue of the treaty and the conflict in Ukraine or other hostile activities of the West against our country. And there are statements that they want to achieve the strategic defeat of us. So either they are very cynical or they are very stupid, but they are not fools, after all. They want to defeat us, and they want to inspect our military sites. And in this regard, I have to say that Russia is stopping its participation in the treaty about strategic offensive weapons. I will reiterate once again, it does not, we do not withdraw from the treaty, but we are putting it on hold. But before we go back to discussing this matter, we need to understand first, what do such countries from North Atlantic Alliance as France and the United Kingdom want, and how can we consider their strategic arsenal, which is offensive, part of the offensive potential of the alliance. With their statement, they say that they want to be a part of the process. Thank God, we do not mind it. But don't try to lie to everyone again to show that you want peace, that you want detente. We know that some of the nuclear weapons are almost out of their term, And we are perfectly aware that some of the officials there, they think about testing their nuclear weapons, considering that the United States, they are developing new types of the nuclear armaments. We have such information, and in this situation, the Defense Ministry and Rosatom should also prepare to test Russian nuclear weapons. Of course, we are not going to be the first ones to do this, but if the United States will hold their tests, we will follow the suit. No one should have these dangerous solutions that global nuclear parity can be destroyed. Colleagues, citizens of Russia, today we together are going through difficult path, and we are overcoming all the difficulties together as well. It cannot be any other way, because we were raised with examples of our great ancestors, and we should be worthy of their examples. We move forward because we are true to our motherland and to our unity. And it was shown since the very first days of the special military operations. Hundreds of volunteers, representatives of all the ethnic groups of Russia, came to the recruitment offices. They stand shoulder to shoulder with the defenders of Donbass to fight for their homeland, for the truth, for the justice. And now, shoulder to shoulder, warriors from all the regions of our multi-ethnic country fighting. They pray in different languages, but all of them pray for victory, for their comrade in arms, and for their motherland. Their heavy exploits is heeded by the entire Russia. People support our warriors. They don't want to. They cannot watch by idly from the sidelines. The front line is going through the hearts of millions of our peoples. They are sending medical supplies, communication means, transport, warm clothes, and so on and so forth to the front line. Everything that helps to save our lads. I know how letters from the children, from the school children, are warming the hearts of our warriors, because it is the most valuable thing to them. They take it with them to combat, because sincerity of children's wishes is something that is touching them to tears. The warriors understand what for they are fighting, who they defend. It is important for the warriors and their families and for civilians, if the care that the volunteers is giving them, they are also acting courageously under the shelling. They are evacuating children and elderly. They are supplying the conflict zone with water and clothes. They are creating refugee centers. They help in the hospitals and along the line of contact. They are risking their lives to save other people. The United Front has gathered more than 5 billion rubles. So many donations are continue to flow. It is important for everyone to continue to contribute, both larger enterprises and businessmen. But what is especially touching and inspiring the situation when people with modest income are sending part of their pensions, of their salaries to donate.